The Iron City Classic, a 10-on-10 tournament played on multiple types of terrain featuring a rule set that goes back to the beginnings of our sport. The rules are deceptively simple. Capture your opponent's flag, return it to your flag station, shoot as many of your opponents as possible while keeping as many of your teammates alive as possible. 53 teams will battle over 2 days to determine the winner. Each team will play 8 games in the prelims, with the best 16 teams moving on to Sunday. But there is no running clock with multiple points like at an X-Ball tournament, and there is no buzzer. The flag is the focus. Also, there is no restriction on the amount of paint you can shoot, although electronic guns are capped at 5.5 balls per second, but mechanical guns will be uncapped. Each game is 10 minutes long, but scored as an independent event. The perfect score in one game is 100 points, the maximum possible. And the points break down like this. Each opponent you kill is worth 2 points for a total of 20 points. And each live body at the end of the game is worth 1 point for a total of 10. Every flagpole is 20 points, and the flag hang is worth 50. With the harsh cut from 53 teams to 16, look for the teams on the bubble to be sitting around the scoreboard counting points Saturday afternoon as the prelims wind down to see how many points they need in their last games to move on.
The Iron City Classic. 53 teams battle out over 3 distinct playing fields. The woods, where paintball first began. Mother Nature lends a helping hand with trees, rocks, and shrubs. Doesn't get much simpler than that. Hyperball. When paintball looked to expand outside the woods, this was the answer. Made up of corrugated plastic tubes of all shapes and sizes, hyperball led the way to modern-day speedball, building the game for a faster-paced, more intense game. The Mounds Field. Iconic to this area in paintball history, the mounds are simple. Strategically laid out dirt across the playing field. While simple, this led to very intense, aggressive, and in-your-face games of paintball. The teams will be put to the test this weekend, playing across all 3 fields.
Welcome 2018 Iron City Classic, brought to you by the Shocker CVO. And we are here at Urban Assault Paintball in Pennsylvania, a little outside of Pittsburgh. I'm Matty Marshall, and I'm incredibly happy to have Nikki Vegas and Bob Rose, a.k.a. Rosie, from the Ground Zero Boys, a.k.a. the Master Blasters. So it's going down on center court here on Sunday. We're still in the prelims, still trying to figure out who's going to be making on into the later rounds here. That's going to be going down on the hyperball court here this afternoon. So you guys are looking pretty good, but still kind of on the bubble. Vegas, we'll start with you. How are you guys looking right now?
We got to win out. You know what I mean? We stepped on ourselves a little bit coming in at the beginning. The first 2 games came out flat yesterday. We're picking it up every game. We're just coming back to the usual ground zero.
Yeah. Rosie, how do you feel you guys are playing right now?
Just like Nikki said, I'll touch on that. We started off really, really, really slow yesterday, and we picked it up every game. Every game, actually, we increased. You know, we did all our things that we have to do right. Communication was better. Our movement was better. Our aggression was better. You know, and what really is important on this type of format, okay, is being consistent on every single field.
Yeah, for sure. So let's take a look at the schedule here real quick. And we have a really big game coming up next. It's going to be Gridlock taking on the All-Americans. So in that match, Gridlock is undefeated. All-Americans, definitely must-win situation for them as they're a little bit on the bubble, but it's between you guys and the All-Americans right now, right?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Love you guys. Love you, Spesh.
So how does it need to break down then? So you're hoping that Gridlock beats the All-Americans?
Yeah, I'm sorry, Nikki. No. We're looking at Gridlock to actually have a really good game. You know, because as far as we're concerned, they're locked. You know, in our division,
they do look awkward.
They look good. They look good. And so we are. You know, if we're gonna root for anybody, we're gonna root for Gridlock.
Yeah.
And that's not a bad thing. That's a good thing on our side.
It's just a points thing.
Yeah, it's not a personal
thing.
thing.
We're playing the board.
Everybody.
You got to.
Yeah.
That's part of this game.
Yep.
Look, if they're sitting at the top of the seed, you want them to win out, so then you guys can take that second seed and get that berth, because it's a harsh cut. 53 teams to 16.
16.
That's a really nasty cut.
Yeah.
So right now on the field, it's OP Kittleiter taking on the Anchorman. So we're going to jump into this game, and it looks like a rough go of it over here on the right-hand side of your as this game is starting to get closed out. And you guys have been watching this field play out, but this is going to be your second game here. And how do you guys like this field?
I really like it.
Yeah, we really like it. You know, there definitely is differences, but as far as the field's layout, it's really nice. You know, we thought when we first walked it, the openings, that was going to be a little rough.
Yeah. Now, obviously, you guys are not strangers to playing hyperball. But I'm also, now, Rosie, I know you go way back, right? You've been playing this game for a long time. I mean, you're what now, 45, I think?
44.
44. Well, congratulations on making it to be 44. Vegas, I think you are also
like
44, right?
39, bro.
39. Is that your real age? Are you really 39? And you're getting up there now, man.
Yeah,
But Vegas, did you grow up playing in the woods too?
a little bit. Tail end. Yeah. Tail end of the sport. Like right when it was coming out of the woods. I think I played the last true 10-man event with GZ, that World Cup.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, and then it was X-Ball after that. So, but yeah, played 10-man a bunch of times, you know, little kid teams and stuff, and then worked our way up.
But players like Nicky are just like, you know, these are the guys you know, really look for and appreciate, not just because we grew up kind of together in the New York area, but, you know, the instinct's there, you know, and that's what you got to find. You got to find that instinct.
Well, what I loved, as it looks like they're going to be, I think that was a stalemate actually on this field. But we're looking forward to this next game here. Gridlock taking on the All-Americans. Going to be coming up next here on center court. After that, Bro Army Elite and the Misfits, and then the A-Town Stay Down versus the Thundercats. We are eventually going to make our way to the Master Basters Black taking on Rhythm. Are you guys familiar with Rhythm at all? Not really.
Not really.
But do you guys know how they're doing?
Yeah, we watched them play. They play aggressive, but the same thing. We're not going to worry about how they play.
I don't care who's on the other side of the team. We got to beat everybody.
Yep.
Doesn't matter.
Well, yeah, it's one of those things. Look, it's paintball, right? You want to be the one acting, and you want the other team to be reacting.
How many times
to
you go out there and there's a superstar team you're playing against, and they should just come and mow through you, and then all of a sudden they get like blown off the field. Right. You know what I mean? And it should have been an easy win for them. So everybody's got to be taken seriously.
But if it's a team on paper that you should beat, you don't want to sleep on that team.
Exactly.
Especially when you're on the bubble.
Right.
Yeah.
But also, and because live bodies are important, that first game went really well for you guys. I think you only lost one body, correct?
Right. Correct.
So you won 9 up. And since it could come down to a point or two, depending on how these last games go out, you have to have that same mentality out here in this next game against Rhythm. Try to, tighten it up, stay alive, try to close. When you close, if you have to sacrifice the body to break it open, you got to do what you got to do. Which is basically that's the only reason you lost a body in that first game, right?
Yeah.
Because everything looked controlled.
Right.
And
controlled aggression.
Right. Yep.
So where are you playing? Are you still Snake?
No, I'm on the other side.
You're on the sub side?
Yeah.
All right, well, I'm just going to let you know your boy Nicky Cuba was the fastest guy to get in the sub yesterday. Took him about a minute and a half.
Wow.
Which is pretty quick on that sub
I
side.
was a little slower than him, but I'm a little older than him. But I'm better looking, so it's okay.
We'll go there.
You're also a little shorter, so you're a little bit harder of a target to shoot.
I think I might weigh more than him, too, so when I hit the ground, it hurts more.
Yes. You're not short, but you're not tall, but you're also very thick.
Right.
So,
husky. I like husky.
Husky. Okay, I'll give it to you. You're husky. So there we go. There is the All-Americans on your screen about to play Gridlock. And this is an important game here again because Gridlock has won out. They are 6-0 with the 2 games left here, and both those games are on this field. Their second game is going to be at 10:45-ish. It looks like we're running a little bit ahead of schedule. Actually, no, we're right on schedule right now. So actually, no, we're about 10 minutes ahead of time, maybe 8 minutes ahead of time. So Gridlock going to have to play the Thundercats. But Gridlock looks really good. I talked to the Gridlock guys about how they're looking at this field, and there's no mystery out here on this field. Everyone knows what you're supposed to do. You're not going to win from those back bunkers. You have to get a guy in the snake. You have to get a guy in that center, and you have to continue to flood bodies if you lose those guys. So here we go, 10 seconds.
10 seconds.
Here we go, Gridlock. Another old school. This is an old school battle, man. This has been all weekend long here. So Gridlock going to be on your left, and on the breakout, we're looking at Gridlock. And let's see if they take the snake, and they do. They send their fastest guy to the snake one off the break, and I think he made it clean. I don't know. The ref's going to get and check him out. No, they lost him. So All-Americans.
Both teams in the center 50.
Yep.
So Gridlock.
Oh, yeah.
Now, look at this, though. And
right over the top.
coming
And
over
he's
and
in.
taking him out. So it's not looking good for Gridlock here to start things out. They lose their first body to the snake off the break and then get bunkered out of that center. All-Americans, though, they don't have a body in the snake either, so both teams going to have to fight to try to get into that important spot. But Gridlock down 2 bodies right now, 8 bodies alive, but they didn't shoot anybody on the All-Americans.
All A's took the right 40 right before the sub.
Well, I think All A's did a great breakout.
Matching
like
moves.
say, and that's what they're doing. They're setting it up for the snake side. There's another one. There's another G. There's another G.
Ooh,
That's 4 quick ones.
It is not looking good for Gridlock, so this puts it a little bit more pressure on you guys right
That's
now. If it
looking-
continues to go this way, but this is the magic of 10 man.
Right.
Gridlock can pull this back,
Right.
but they have to find a way to get shots on the snake and in that center. No one has made a move up on the sub side yet for the All-Americans, but they haven't dropped the body. Still 10 bodies alive on the right-hand side of your screen here for the
Now they
All-Americans.
just moved in.
Doubling the snake,
They're in the snake.
playing the head.
Doubling up the snake,
Yep.
also crawling past the 50 here
that
in that
Dearman?
center 50 structure. I think that is Dearman.
Yep, he's
yeah.
up there. He's making moves.
Well, hey, Dearman called it last night. We did an interview with Eric Dearman, the number 1 stunner. He's like, I promise you, I'm going to be getting down in that center of the field. And sure enough, he was the one playing the aggressor, coming over, bunkering out his mirror, and then getting past the 50 and getting into this important spot. There goes another body dropping off for Gridlock. It is not looking good for Gridlock, and they haven't shot any bodies from the All-Americans yet. So it'd be real big for the All-Americans if they could find a way to win this game 10 up. So
What I like about what the All A's are doing, which of course we are rooting for the Gridlock team, but they're setting up that back line very nice. They're talking, they're switching it up.
So right now, 7 minutes, 53 seconds left to go. I don't
Oh,
think
there
the
he goes.
All-Americans are going to need that
Now
time,
they're
though,
moving.
because they are just murdering Gridlock.
Yeah, Dearman's on their side of the field
Yeah.
already. He's ready to close it out.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm looking for the run through.
Yeah, Dearman trying to set it up right now. He's at the triple laydown all the way onto Gridlock's side of the field. All-Americans with the full court press right now, locking up a bunch of bodies here on this 50-yard line, rolling their guns. There goes Spesh. Spesh gets into the 50 right behind Eric, and Eric is just zoned up on that sub side trying to keep those guys honest over there. Not a lot of bodies left alive for Gridlock.
No.
So this is exactly what you guys didn't want to happen.
Right,
Story of my
exactly.
life, man.
But it's paintball.
It's paintball.
Look, when you see Frank Connell walking down the field, like
Oh.
with his gun up, just walking,
Well, there goes the first body,
There's
and
the
I think
first
it
one.
is
Frank.
It
I
is
just
Frank.
jinxed him. All right.
You
So
did-
when we see Spesh walking down the field,
Our first
I
time
love that.
commentator curse of
I
the
love
day,
that.
and it's
I
Nikki
love that.
Vegas with the black cat right there. So yeah, Frank's walking off
Yeah.
one, and we're like, where did that come from?
They're really
Oh, they might-
they are so concentrated in the middle. They are so concentrated in the
So it
middle.
looks like Gridlock, I think, has 3 bodies left alive. No, make that 2. So 2 bodies left alive.
Oh,
and then
there's
here comes
another one.
Eric.
There's
Eric's going to
another
run
G.
through.
there we go.
He's going to get 1.
Oh.
Oh, he has to pay the toll, though.
Yep.
So there goes another body for
Oh, they're all
Gridlock.
going.
Wow, that was a real good game
It
here
was a good game.
for the All-Americans. And a must-win situation for the All-Americans as they also were they're in the same situation you guys are in. They drew some games yesterday, weren't able to get some pulls. That pull is important. 20 points for that, 50 points for the hang. You get 2 points for a kill and a point each for each live body. And I think they won that game 8 up, I want to say.
Yeah, I think 8 up. I think they just lost Frankie and Dearm. Eric with his move up the middle.
So who's the math guy on your team that sits there and looks at the board and goes, okay, we need this many kills, and every team has one of those guys, right?
Yeah, right now it's Timmy Doyle.
Is it?
Yeah, Timmy's taking control of that. He's, and it's rough because we all want to hear him say the right thing, and it doesn't happen sometimes, But it's good. We're in our driver's seat. It's our destiny. We have to win out, and this hurt a little bit. Only 2 bodies. That's tough.
Yeah, definitely.
That's tough.
So now in your game against Rhythm, you're going to be in the same situation that All-Americans in.
Right.
And then is that your last game? No, you have one more game
one more
against
after that.
A-Town Stay
Yeah,
Down, and they have some Revo players on that team. So I wouldn't say it's a stacked team, but it's definitely a team you can't take
You're right.
lightly because there's some really good players on that squad.
Yeah, and they're going to play well out here. They're going to play very well.
Listen, I'll take Rosie over anybody on Revo or any other team out there. So
that's what's so solid about our team. There's always trust.
I'll take
and there's
Rosie,
always,
Pete Riley, Fritz, Mooner. Put those guys behind you. There's nothing you can't do on the field.
Hey, you got to have confidence in your boys. And again, thank you guys so much for joining us here. If you're watching on social media, make sure you head on over to Go Sports and help us out, man. Help us spread the across your social media networks that we're here trying to cover this 10-man event. And this is important to us
This
old
is
school
real,
guys. It's fun.
real.
This is
Yeah.
fun paintball to watch. Obviously, it's only going to get more fun to watch as the best teams are going to be thrown down here on this hyperball field in order to see who's going to win this tournament. 53 teams here. There's over 650 people at this event. which is pretty insane when you think about it. And Tim was telling me he could have got 70 teams here. So, yeah, help us out. Head to GoSports.com, sign up, watch the rest of this event. I also heard that there was one fight yesterday at this field. And so the guy that told me this, he's like, I was like, how'd it go today? One of the guys running the tournament. He's like, well, we did have one fight today. And I'm like thinking in my head, I'm like, I wonder who it is. I'm like, what team was it? They're like, it was the Master Blasters. I'm like, who did they fight? The Master Blasters. I was like, of course the New Yorkers are going to be the one team that gets in a fight with themselves.
That's it.
Of course.
That's
Nothing's changed.
That's normal. That's every day. That's why when you go
that's
play
us.
on other teams, people are like, why are you fighting with me? And then you want to hug them. You're like, what the hell? We're still supposed to be fighting. It's like, no, this is just how it goes.
This is paintball.
That's how we grew up.
This is paintball. This is how we grew up.
Well, I heard that, it was always funny. I grew up in California, and then I met you guys, but I'd hear the stories of how it was back in the day when you guys used to go to these practices and how brutal it was.
Oh. Keys were on the field. Guns were not shooting 300 feet per second. You were bloodied up at the end of the day. You were. And you know what? You took it, though. You took it.
Rosie, when did you start playing?
I started in 85.
85.
Yeah.
What was the scene like in 85?
I'll start right from the beginning. I went out and I played a game and I just fell in love with it. And then I got in competitive paintball, which we call competitive in 85, which was really just local teams playing.
But was that still 15-man at the time?
And then we went 15, and I was just telling the kids today, two of the kids that are playing with us, that they were 45 minutes long. On
45-minute long games when it was 15-man.
On like 8 acres.
Wow.
Yeah. Now think about it. You're playing on a 300, maybe 250-foot field. This is 8 acres.
Wow.
45 minutes long, 15-man. And let me tell you.
PGPs?
With PGPs, Nelsons, 007s, 10 shots. And then they went to the next level and then reduced it to 30 paintballs in a 45-minute game.
You only had, it was limited paint?
3 tubes.
3 tubes of paint.
Yep. That didn't last long. And then I have to give it to California. California came up with the consistent air. They came out with the CO2 bottles.
Yeah.
Things went into more pumps. New England actually invented the pump for the 007. And the PGPs actually came out. They were actually produced and stuff. But then it just progressed. And then when it blew up, that's when it really, really happened,
Well, I want to pick your brain about how Ground Zero became a team in a second. But
okay.
We have, it looks like, I think we got about a minute to go.
All right.
What year did Ground Zero start? I know you guys are here as Master Blasters. That's also an old school team, too.
Yes.
And Donaldson put it together.
Yep.
And Master Blasters is his thing.
Since
so he's like,
86.
if I'm the one putting it together, then we're playing as Master Blasters, so I get it.
Right.
However, when did Ground Zero start?
Ground Zero started around 2000.
Okay.
Right? And it all started with the Blasters. Okay. And it's a really good story because that's when the Long Island boys came involved, and which was one of our absolute best decisions. We started picking from our own crew of people up in upstate New York, and it wasn't working. It wasn't clicking. But we played these guys quite a bit, so.
So we're jumping here and into this next game, and it is the Bro Army Elite taking on the Misfits here on the break.
Breaking hard.
And it looks like Misfits Toys here on your right-hand side of the field, and on the left-hand side, Bro Army Elite.
Nope.
And it looks like Bro Army trying to get into the snake off the break and ends up getting taken out. So they lose that first body. So I think the teams are starting to find that shot. We are starting to see some guys get shot off the break, not making it to the snake. Yesterday, I was calling it about, I think, 60-70% of the time you can make the snake off the break. Right around that. I think today it's starting to make it a little bit harder. Guys are finding that shot, maybe putting a couple more guns on it, understanding how important this side of the field is.
Right. Well, you see what this side did. This side did exactly what the All-A's did. They stacked this side with guns, all right, and just keyed that lane, and they got him just as he got in.
That might be the move today.
Right.
Maybe the move is to delay the snake, put heavy guns on the snake, hope he goes, shoot that body, and then get in just like the All-A's did to Gridlock.
Yep.
So right now,
what do you think, Nikki?
Yeah,
Misfit Toys just lost the body, I think, from the right 40.
Yeah, so on that sub side, body walking off. That's the first body to drop for the Misfit Toys. Again, this game brought to you by the Shocker CVO. What are you guys shooting right now?
Shocker CVO.
You guys are shooting the Shockers?
Thank you, Adam Gardner.
How's it shoot? I've heard good things.
E-Tex and Cockers.
And Cockers? Yeah. At least there's a couple Cockers in there. That's
what
I'm talking about.
There's some.
That's been the raging argument because you got these new light, brand new technology guns, and so that's the argument going back and forth. Okay, cool. So it looks like I got to say goodbye to you guys here as you got to go get ready. Well, you guys are playing on this field, though, right?
Yeah.
You still got 3 games before you got to get out there. But if you tell me when you need to leave. If you need to leave, you got to go. I totally understand.
All right.
So right now, and I really mean that, if you got to bounce, go for it.
Yep.
8 minutes and 9 seconds on this clock here. Misfit Toys down just one body.
One body.
And
I think it's 1-1.
Yeah, I think it is 1-1. So 9 on 9 right now. And I don't know why Misfit Toys put a body in that back corner bunker on the snake side.
Right.
So we've been calling the triple stand up the back corner
Right,
bunker. I
right.
think that other back corner bunker is pretty much garbage.
Yeah.
There's really not much you can do from there. Unless things going really bad and you need to do a tactical retreat, then you can come back there. We've definitely been seeing that, but very few teams are sending anybody there off the break.
Rocky Cagnoni in the snake. This is what it's all about. This is old school.
They just dropped one in the back corner, back left corner.
Yeah, Rocky Cagnoni is also having a tournament. I heard really good things about Rocky in the woods. He had a 5-pack against the All-Americans yesterday.
Rocky was playing on fire.
Yeah, I asked him about it too, and you know Rocky's a humble guy,
Yes.
which a lot of people don't know that about Rocky because they see him how loud he is and how crazy he was back in the day. But he's actually a super humble guy, so he's not normally the guy that's like, yeah, I'm playing awesome. But he's like, yeah, Matty, I definitely had a day yesterday. I don't know how, because I'm old now, but it was just working out for me. So Rocky Cagnoni in the snake at the 50-yard
Rocky
line.
just shot out the triple stack in the center.
He's wrecking him. He's wrecking him in the middle.
So Rocky continuing to have a good tournament here.
Yep.
And no one in
goes.
there
Here he
for
goes.
PBA
Oh,
Elite.
geez.
And there goes another body dropping for PBA Elite. So 2 bodies coming off real quick. 7 players left alive. The referee's going to run in and check out this stand-up over here on the snake side.
See, getting back to you saying about Rocky having like a great game and stuff, competing, that's what this format is great for. You know, you don't have to be the super athletic stud, the 20-year-old kid that's running a 4.40 or whatever to compete, and not only compete but dominate people out here. It's bringing it back to the masses.
Well, I mean, it definitely helps if you can run a
Well,
4.40.
obviously, look, I'm not going to. If
I
somebody
mean-
said, "Hey, Nick, you can run a 4.40 now," I'll be like, "Thank you very much."
I
But
mean, well, look at this. So a couple bodies dropping
They
for
just
the
dropped
Misfit
2.
Toys.
Yeah.
So throwing a couple bodies away here, and now they've lost 3 bodies. So it looks like it's getting even on the body count, but Misfit Toys have the ground.
Yeah. They definitely got to keep an eye on Rocky, but they also have to actually make some moves. They have to get some ground.
Well, Rocky's definitely the guy right now. I mean,
Oh,
he's in the
without a
best
doubt.
spot on the field. There's no one up there with him. There's no one in the snake. He doesn't have any teammates at any of the 50s.
almost other side, far side. He's almost in the sub. He's in the stand-up before the sub.
Yeah, he is getting some penetration on that sub side of the field. So Misfits have a body in the bunker right behind the 50 on that sub side. A lot of guys have been stopping there. I don't really feel like there's a ton of great shots. It's good as a launching pad to kind of just get yourself in there and then make the move into the sub. Sub, a lot more you can do from there. And again, it was good to see Nicky Cuba. Again, out of all the games I watched yesterday, he was the fastest guy to get in the sub. There goes another body.
There's another
right now.
They lost one on.
TBA
They
Elite.
lost one on the other tape too. That's 2 bodies.
And here comes Misfits as they're going to get that body here up in the center 50. Ooh, a little scorpion action as diving into the snake, but looks like he's okay. His back might be hurting a little bit later on today, but he's all right. I think that might be Mike.
That wasn't a scorpion. I'll show you a scorpion.
Just going to say
Every
that.
10 years,
I
the
didn't want to
Scorpion
throw you under
King.
the bus, but I've definitely seen. Well, it's because, again, you're husky, right?
Dude,
And
I
so you
don't-
got a lot of that weight going in, and you're not the most graceful in the dives. You're real
No.
fast, but you kind of cannonball in there.
I don't think about the repercussions of what my body is going to feel like later on. I just want to get it done for the team.
So
And it won't be pretty.
Yeah, it doesn't need to be pretty. It just needs to work.
Right.
So Rocky Cagnoni now past the 50-yard line trying to get these last few players out from TBA Elite, and there goes another body. So Elite not able to stay tight enough in those back spots as Rocky Cagnoni, one of the paintball legends out here playing this weekend.
Playing
And
great.
playing great, man. Rocky is having a weekend. It's not the biggest surprise, but it's we're not getting any younger out here, so it's not like Rocky's 22. But he's still, hey, like Marty Bush.
He's out there.
Marty Bush used to tell me this when I was young and he was old. He's like, hey, even a rusty knife can still cut.
It does. Yeah, that's an absolute true statement.
So,
Maddie, we gotta go.
yeah, no, thank you guys
I'm
so much for
sorry.
joining us. It's all good. We're going to see your game up here. It looks like you guys are in the hole. A-Town stay down, and the Thundercats are about to go down. So we're going to take a quick break as the Misfit Toys walking that flag back, and wish you guys best of luck. Thank you, Vegas. Thank you so much,
Maddie,
Rosie.
thank
You're
you
a
so
legend.
much.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
And stick with us here, GoSports.com. We'll be right back.
The Iron City Classic, a 10-on-10 tournament played on multiple types of terrain featuring a rule set that goes back to the beginnings of our sport. The rules are deceptively simple. Capture your opponent's flag, return it to your flag station, shoot as many of your opponents as possible while keeping as many of your teammates alive as possible. 53 teams will battle over 2 days to determine the winner. Each team will play 8 games in the prelims, with the best 16 teams moving on to Sunday. But there is no running clock with multiple points like at an X-Ball tournament, and there is no buzzer. The flag is the focus. Also, there is no restriction on the amount of paint you can shoot, although electronic guns are capped at 5.5 balls per second, but mechanical guns will be uncapped. Each game is 10 minutes long, but scored as an independent event. The perfect score in one game is 100 points, the maximum possible. And the points break down like this. Each opponent you kill is worth 2 points for a total of 20 points. And each live body at the end of the game is worth 1 point for a total of 10. Every flagpole is 20 points, and the flag hang is worth 50. With the harsh cut from 53 teams to 16, look for the teams on the bubble to be sitting around the scoreboard counting points Saturday afternoon as the prelims wind down to see how many points they need in their last games to move on.
The Iron City Classic. 53 teams battle out over 3 distinct playing fields. The woods, where paintball first began. Mother Nature lends a helping hand with trees, rocks, and shrubs. Doesn't get much simpler than that. Hyperball. When paintball looked to expand outside the woods, this was the answer. Made up of corrugated plastic tubes of all shapes and sizes, hyperball led the way to modern-day speedball, building the game for a faster-paced, more intense game. The Mounds Field. Iconic to this area in paintball history, the mounds are simple, strategically laid out dirt across the playing field. While simple, this led to very intense, aggressive, and in-your-face games of paintball. The teams will be put to the test this weekend, playing across all 3 fields.
We are back, 2018 Iron City Classic, brought to you by the Shocker CVO. Matty Marshall. Stoked to have Rainey up here from Edmonton Impact, currently guesting with San Antonio X Factor. You guys just played in the woods. What happened?
It was a chaos point with a little bit of controversy, but at the end we ended up finishing with 7? No, we only checked in with 6 alive.
6 alive?
Yes, which is good because...
And you're still undefeated.
Still undefeated, and a lot of the dudes haven't played in the woods. LJ's never really played in the woods. Jesse's never played in the woods. So they don't know what to do, and I'm like, hey, look, when in doubt, just hide.
Yeah.
And LJ hasn't been shot the whole tournament.
So I think we're going to have a camera actually in the woods right now. I hope we're going to cut to the shot in a second. But how is that woods field playing?
Compared to last year, it's playing a lot faster. They did a lot of work on this woods ball field, so it's a lot more fun. You can push on both sides, but it's a badass woods field.
This is our new sniper cam. Look, it's like you got your goggles on. So,
oh, man.
So, okay, talk to me. It's a bigger field, but not the biggest field we've ever played on. I wouldn't call it a big woods ball field. It's a pretty standard-sized woods ball field, but what's working out there, what's not working?
Well, the middle's good. The middle is a fortress. There's a huge, almost wall-type structure in the middle, and that can kind of cut down the sides and allow your guys to push on the top side. Because everyone on the bottom side is just kind of playing it, passive, not really winning or losing on the side. Everyone's winning and losing on that top side. There's a lot of good bunkers, a lot of railroad ties, so you're kind of just trying to shut that down and just push on that side.
So center's the strong side.
Center's a good point to get to early off the break and kind of establish your dominance on the field and hold off that left side. But the push is coming from the left. Like once you close out, like you got to go through that. You can't win the game through the middle.
Yeah, and you've been around forever, and you definitely grew up playing every field out there possible in California when you first came up. Obviously, you got paintball famous on airball field, but you love playing UWLs. I'm always seeing you out here, and I heard that you were the guy that was calling them up, like, are you guys playing this 10-man? Get me in there. I'm in. This is like months ago.
Yeah, I hit them up. I invited myself to the team.
That's basically what they told me.
Yeah.
You're playing it, I'm playing on your team. And then what are they going to tell you? No, you know? So right now, jumping into this game it's A-Town Stay Down, taking on Thundercats. A-Town Stay Down, some Revel players on this squad.
Yes, the 18, yeah.
Yeah.
They played last year, and they had a lot of fun, and so it's good to see them back here. And they fell just short last year of making it into the top 4. But yeah.
So they came that close last year.
Oh yeah, they lost to Rich Telford's team.
Who did you play with last year here?
Company.
Company?
Yeah.
Oh, you're on Company?
Oh yeah.
Company.
There were so many companies said that weekend between me, Todd, and everyone.
Did you see Todd's Instagram?
Yes.
Oh, it was hilarious. Todd, if you guys didn't see it, I don't know if it's been 24 hours yet, but Todd was basically in his backyard with his goggles on.
Oh, when
he was like out of breath, like he's like, I'm here at the Iron City Classic. I'm the kill count leader. It was hilarious. If you get a chance, go check it out. So right now, looks like the Thundercats are in the snake right now, in good field position. No, that's A-Town Stay Down, right?
A-Town Stay Down.
That's on the right-hand side.
Yes.
Yeah. So A-Town Stay Down.
Yeah, I saw Henry Sense. I think I saw Mar. Yeah, 4 or 5 Revo players out there on this team.
So right now, A-Town. So Falatico, said that kid's name a couple times. Falatico's the missile for Revo, and he's in the snake right now doing what snake missiles do, get to the 50-yard line and be a presence.
Yeah, that's the key to the success on this field is the snake, but also this middle.
Yeah, middle's huge.
Yeah.
Snake and middle are the most important bunkers. They're also the easiest to make. But that sub, you can get some work done on that sub, too. It's just way harder to make it up on that side because those Vs are
it's
tough
like
to play.
The way I look at this field is 3 stages. You get to the middle, establish yourself, take pressure off your snake guy, put pressure on their snake guy, get in the snake in the middle, then that guy can go down the sub side. That's the 3rd stage and final stage of push.
So Falatico's still at that 50-yard line. There is a body for the Thundercats here on the left-hand side of your screen who's at that center 50.
Yeah, but they don't really have anyone in position to look like to fill the snake. Oh, here we go. Just as I say it, they put a body right in the bunker before the snake.
So he gets into the insert bunker, like Rainey was saying. They do have a body in the back corner.
A-Town Stay Down just lost a player.
Yeah, I think he got shot center towards the sub side. So, and I don't think, and there's no bodies for A-Town in the snake, or in the center 50 right now.
No, there's no bodies in there, but he's looking to go up there to go bunker out that guy. Yeah, like I said, like getting that center guy out is huge because, I mean, it's one of those spots where it's tough to dig it out. We saw yesterday, if that guy's late in game, it's easier to protect him than it is a snake guy. Snake guy, you can just get up and trade.
And the player for the Thundercats is at that center 50, but he's laying down. That's the lowest and for the longest that I've seen a player play that bunker. He's literally at the center 50, laying down, just looking towards the sub side. And he hasn't even, now I think he's head checking a little bit here. Now he's head checking towards the snake side.
Yeah, I don't know.
I think he's still looking sub side. Oh,
yeah.
And Falatico gets shot out.
Wow, that's huge. Who shot him?
It
had him in the roll over there.
I think it is the roller on the sub side. That's a good shot. That's not exactly a close shot. And now here comes A-Town getting into the wing of that center structure. Look, he's looking for it right now.
Yeah, he's hunting. He's trying to figure out who he's got to put in to go get him. Because the move is, to do him clean, is actually go to their leg like he's doing right now. Shoots him out, comes in, lives.
Perfectly clean move up in the center. Got a little bit of a glare right now, so I can't see who that is. It wasn't Henry.
And his buddy backed him up and went to the center 50 with him to watch over him, which is a smart move. And then A-Town also matches and gets into snake. So, I mean, and they're moving up the sub side. So, I mean, they're playing this field perfectly. You know, one guy makes a move, gets up far up the field, takes a lot of the pressure, and you see 3 or 4 guys capitalize off it. And you see, even right now, A-Town go all the way down on their sub side of the field.
It's that wave. One guy goes, the wave starts to break, and then everyone else starts to make those moves off of that. And that's why that one move can just literally break open a game. Maybe he only gets 1 kill, but it starts that aggressive push forward. And now past the 50-yard line here on the snake side, they also have good field position in that center as that player, number 13, he's still past the 50. And now they're completely committing past the 50 on the sub side and in the center as the bodies are dropping for the Thundercats. And I don't think I think that's it. So nice close. That was a great close from A-Town.
Yeah, that right there shows you know, you got some of the, one more player still alive.
There was a landmine in the back, so that did cost him a body. which
Don't go to sleep. Don't
yeah,
go to
you
sleep.
don't go to sleep. This isn't airball, man. You got to
No.
check off. We're not going to make fun of you if you're running down the field checking off when it's dead when you're gun up, because you never know if there's going to be a landmine out there.
Dead man walks are in play in this tournament.
Yes, they are. And it was funny because Tim in the captain's meeting was like, look, we thought about it. We tried to. There's just no way to make a rule against dead man's walks. It is what it is. If you have a question, you think a guy might still be alive, shoot him a couple more times.
Yep.
That's just the way it is out here. So, and I definitely agree with that.
Yeah, there's some controversy at one of the events where they had a dead man's walk. Even the one I did, the guy was doing a dead man's walk, and I'm watching it, and he's walking off the field going, don't shoot, player coming through, don't shoot. And I'm like, I want to pull you, but I can't. You're not doing anything wrong. And
yeah,
he walked all the way down the field, shot 3-4 dudes. Then he got shot, and I was like, all right, get outfield.
Did you see the dead man's walk from the Tortugas? I didn't expect you to see this, but it was because it was in a divisional final match, and it was in at the last event in Basildon. And it's one of the craziest dead man walks I've ever seen, because the guy kept his composure. So he sees that it's breaking down and not looking good for him. Also, this happened to be in the finals, so it was it was the 5-man it was a 5-man best of 3.
Okay.
And as you can see, our sniper cam back in the woods. We'll talk about that in a second, but I want to talk about this dead man's walk. So as he's Rainey, just picture this. Guy's in one of the back stand-ups. He sees that his team's losing. It's literally the game to win the tournament. He makes the conscious decision, instead to fight against the 3 or 4 bodies that are in front of him. He just, when we looked at the replay, so you could see he's like, I'm just going to pretend I'm dead. So he puts his gun down, but he sells it. Has his head down, looks frustrated, slow walk off. So he's doing the slow walk, I'm dead off, but he's still alive. And then as we're walking, and I see the body walking off, and then I'm thinking, oh, I'm about to call the kill. Like, oh, they lost their last body. It's not looking good, looking like their team's going to win it. And then all of a sudden he raises his gun up, but kind of from his hip, just real quick, rips a guy real quick, and then puts his head down, continues to walk. Sells it the whole time. Then he walks, shoots the next guy, puts his head down, continues to walk.
And what are the guys doing that are getting shot? Are they wigging out? Or they know who's shooting them? Or
no, they get shot, and they turn around, and they see a dead guy walking off, or what they think is a dead guy. So they don't know. So now they're confused, and the referees are pulling them out, and they want to talk, but they can't because they're dead. So so he shot 3 or 4 guys like that. As he walks down, shoots the first guy, continues to go, continues to walk, and then he finally commits. And he's thinking, like, should I shoot the last guy? And then he just goes and hits the buzzer, wins the tournament.
Wow.
Everyone flips out. His team runs out from the pits, hugs him. They're like, hoist him up. It was crazy.
Disciplined enough not to shoot the last guy. I'm not going to be greedy. Give me the win.
Yeah.
Wow.
The way he sold it was just so legit. And I'm not like the biggest. I've never done a dead man's walk. I'm probably never going to do a dead man's walk. But the way he sold it and to maintain his composure was crazy. I've never seen that before. Normally a guy does a dead man's walk and loses it as soon as he raises his gun up, and then he just wiles out until he gets blasted.
It's funny because we joke about that, like in the pro division. We're like, yeah, I think you could probably get away with it every once in a while because everyone just walks off. No one really just shoots someone walking off like that. So,
well,
yeah.
it's a little trickery. It's like the Russians with their trick you on the
Yes.
side play, which has worked every time they've done it.
They've done it, but the thing is, though, it's almost backfired on them every time because they did it to PC Katana, and they were winning 3-0 and did it to him. PC Katana came back and tied it up. So it kind of poured salt in the wound and spiced them up. And then they did it to us in Vegas, and it pissed off JC and J-Rab, and then they went out there and just started shooting everyone. I was like...
Well, it's kind of like you said yesterday when you were like, hey, don't poke the bear, right? You know, so you guys are down, and all of a sudden guys are chirping at you, and that kind of invigorates you and sparks you up, and now you get emotional. You're like, dude, screw these guys, man. We're going to go, all right, now you want it? You want to come get it? That's what you want to play like that? All right, let's do it.
Yeah.
So like you said, you're kind of poking the bear a little bit when they do it.
Yeah, I don't know if that's... I mean, like, if you're going to do that move, you want to do it as your last point, get the W, walk off, and call it a day. So who do we got up here next?
Well, again, thank you guys so much for joining us here. And if you're watching on Facebook, head to gosports.com, sign up, and watch not only the rest of this event, and I can't wait to see what's going to go down this afternoon. We're still in the prelims trying to figure out who's going to be moving on to play, but it's a brutal cut going from 53 teams to 16. And the action will be going down to decide this tournament here on the hyperball field on center court. And thank you so much to our sponsors, Carbon Paintball, GI Sports, Urban Assault. That's where we're at. The Shocker CEO, Raza, and Empire here at the Iron City Classic. So right now it's going to be Pittsburgh Rampage